School is back in session, which means we're all super busy and we're short on time. I'm going to show you how to make this super delicious shepherd's pie, which is perfect for a weeknight dinner. The first step is to brown the beef, and I am just breaking it up into pieces. Now technically, shepherd's pie is to be made with lamb. With beef, it's called cottage pie. Sometimes I also make this with ground turkey. Now once the beef is browned, I'm going to start adding the onion, thyme, garlic, and spices. Now, if your meat is fatty, you would want to drain off the fat before this step. I'm also adding black pepper. At this point, we're basically seasoning the meat. We're basically creating the base for this dish. I'm also going to add in salt, paprika, and this is sweet paprika. I'm going to add Worcestershire sauce. I said it right this time. And I'm also going to add some tomato paste. And I'm going to mix this all together and then just let this cook for about a minute or two before adding beef broth. And just a little reminder, you guys, that if you are interested in making this recipe, I will have it linked below the video in the description box as always. So head on down there and give it a click. Head on over to my website, giancancook.com, where you'll see the recipe. And I'm just going to mix this all together, just kind of scraping the bottom and scraping all the bits. I am using fresh carrots, but if you have frozen peas and carrots, you want to add it towards the end. And I'm going to bring this to a boil and then cover it and allow it to cook just until the meat becomes tender and it cooks down. Now I'm adding the frozen peas and I'm just going to mix this all in. And I'm going to set this to the side and get started on the potatoes. I am using Yukon Gold potatoes. I'm going to add that to a pot. Now, if you're making this dish on a weeknight, you want to start by boiling the potatoes and let that go while you work on the meat mixture, just making sure that everything cooks at the same time. Once the potatoes are fork tender, I've drained it and I've added butter. I'm adding sour cream, a little bit of heavy cream, and I'm going to season this with salt, garlic powder, and black pepper. And I'm going to whip this using my mixer. You can also use a potato masher, but you guys, tell me why it wasn't until I sat down to edit this video that I realized that I was using my mixer with just one paddle. Anyway, so I'm adding a little bit more heavy cream just until I get the consistency that I want with the potatoes. I want it to be kind of light and somewhat fluffy. And now it's time to assemble the shepherd's pie. I'm adding the ground meat to my casserole dish, and using a spoon, I am just going to spread this out just to form one nice even layer. And if you notice, this is not super saucy, and this is exactly how you want it to be. Next, I'm going to spoon the potatoes on top, and you want a generous amount of potatoes, and I'm just going to spread this all out. And what I like to do, I like to spread it all the way to the sides, just kind of seal in the filling. Using the back of my spoon, I'm just going to form these little ridges. You can also use a fork to give it a little bit of a design, or you can pipe it. At this point, you can add some freshly grated cheddar cheese on top and then just stick it in the oven. Let this bake until it's nice and bubbly, and look at that. You can see the sauce is nice and thick. I'm just going to add some freshly chopped parsley to the top, and then it's time to serve. And that is it. You have a nice hearty meal. You have a little bit of vegetables and the creamy potatoes. Thank you guys for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.